Hi, I'm Joy.
Hi, I'm Lorraine.
And this is Girlish Gurus. And Lorraine, why are we here?
We're here to talk about mid-lifestyle topics for women who are 45 and older to help you live your best, healthiest, and most fulfilled life. We're also going to have lots of fun along the way.
So let's get started. Welcome back to another episode of Girlish Gurus. I'm Joy.
And I'm Lorraine.
Oh, Lorraine. Today's a special day.
It is.
Oh.
We are here with Claudia Fabian
Hello.
of the Beauty Debut. Yay!
Hello, everybody. Hi.
Yeah,
I'm so glad
hi.
to be here with you guys.
This
It's
is-
so great that you guys have come to Vegas.
It is so exciting.
Yeah, and we're in this beautiful studio.
This is amazing.
Oh, it's amazing, yes.
Amazing. And we will tag the studio Art After Dark in Las Vegas, in the Art District.
Yeah,
And
it's just
what a fabulous space, the colors, the light, and so it feels amazing to be here.
it feels right to be here.
Yeah.
It does. All these local artists.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in the area, please come and check it out. It is amazing. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. This art is incredible.
Yeah. So we are here to talk to Claudia about aging with grace, enhanced aging, ageless beauty. So to get started, why don't you tell us a little bit about your philosophy about aging and beauty?
Well, my philosophy really has evolved over time. I've worked in the beauty industry my whole career. So as you know, the beauty industry is really youth obsessed.
Yes.
And I don't think we really think about it when we're working in beauty or even as consumers. We don't think about this anti-aging message, I think, until we hit a certain age,
Yeah.
and then we're like, wait a minute, I don't like this messaging. I don't like what it's trying to make me feel. And as I started embracing my gray hair in 2020, like many other women, I started down this journey of deeper self-love and acceptance and started documenting my journey on social media. And that's kind of where it's evolved into me really just taking people along on my journey of self-acceptance, self-love as I'm aging.
Yeah, we love it. I mean, I've been following you since 2020
Yeah.
when I was on your podcast.
On my podcast,
yeah.
yeah.
And I've watched your whole transition with your hair,
Yeah.
gorgeous, absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
And all the women that you've inspired along the way. I love reading the comments from the women, and you've inspired so many other women to take that same step, and I'm almost there.
Yeah. We're gonna welcome you
Yes.
in when you're ready. And that's
Almost
the thing.
there.
I'm not here to convince
No.
every woman that they need to embrace their gray, because that's unrealistic and it's not for everybody.
Right.
But I want to show it as an option. It's an option that you can just choose to accept this stage in life and not worry about it.
Yeah, and I really am almost there, because my biggest fear is just like, okay, what color gray is it going to be? But I am really about aging with grace. I don't want to keep getting my hair colored. First of all, toxic chemicals on top of everything else. But I'm ready
Yeah.
for it, and
You'll be surprised.
I'm being encouraged.
Well, you'll be surprised that if you are having to color your roots every 4 weeks, every 2
Mm-hmm.
weeks, that is a toxic overload on your scalp.
Mm-hmm.
And I, in fact, was thinking that my hair was thinning.
Really?
I was losing hair, and I just thought, oh, it's hormones, it's part of age. No, it was the hair color.
No
so the
kidding.
moment I stopped coloring and let my gray come in, my hair has never been thicker, healthier. It's restored.
Yeah.
And it's a testament to what you just said, that it is this toxic overload. And not
Yeah.
that coloring your hair is bad, because if
Yes.
you enjoy
Right.
it and it brings you
It makes you
joy,
feel good.
It's a personal
keep
choice.
doing it. But again, there's another option. You can just
Yeah.
let it go.
Yeah, and you shared yesterday with us about how freeing it is.
It's freeing not only to have accepted my gray hair, but just to accept that I'm not trying to look 10, 20 years younger. That is extreme freedom.
Okay.
And I feel so good about that.
Right. Therein lies the crux of the issue for me. When you decide you're going to accept your own standard of beauty rather than the standard everyone else is trying to tout, right?
Yeah.
There is the freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah, just loving yourself through every decade. I think every decade we're on this earth, there is beauty in it, there's lessons to be learned, there's benefits, to getting older. And I think if we're so caught up in trying to look younger, we miss all the good things
Yeah.
that we are experiencing and don't even realize it.
True.
You know?
Yeah, and one of the other things we had discussed was when we were younger, we felt like we always had to look perfect. You go outside, you feel like, I have to have my face made up, I have to have my hair perfect.
Yes.
And now I go out more often with the bald cap and sunglasses than I do anything else. And it's like I really, as I've gotten older and you've got that newfound wisdom, it's like you give less of a crap about all of that stuff.
Or you come at it from the opposite direction, which is me. I felt less than because that was not my area of expertise ever. Never been a makeup girl, so I was never great at it. And I kind of just, I'd rather read a book than try to learn how to do my makeup and etc. So I always felt a little less than because I'd be around these other women and girls and they were great at it and they looked amazing. And I just kind of felt like, wow, I'm a lizard, you know?
I think one thing that happens to all of us in certain stages where, you know, you feel like you have to keep up with the Joneses.
Right.
Or everyone's doing it, so maybe I should be doing it. Or if you can't do it, then it's like you feel less than. And I think now with social media, I think young women really experience that. You know, how we experienced it was one way.
Right.
But now it's amplified with social
Daily.
media and with this idea of perfection and this idea of, you know, looking a certain way. But I think the message there is that seeing women like myself and other women online showing ageless beauty, I think that really can inspire younger women not to have those fears about getting older. And I think it's important for us as women to see other women aging naturally or aging, you know, with grace, as you say. I think that's really important too.
I do too, and just to know that you are enough, the way you are.
You are enough.
That's
and I
enough.
think that comes with age and wisdom. You start to really own that. This is it. This is who I am, and I like who I am.
Yeah, and you've shared that several younger women, or probably many younger women, have commented on your posts. About
that really makes my day when I do get a message on social media from someone younger saying, you know, finding you or seeing you really just takes some of the fear out of getting older. Or I get messages like, I'm just turning 40, and finding your page really gives me the courage, like, not to fear getting older. Because what do we hear? We hear such negative things.
Oh, yeah.
Like 40 over the hill, it's over. I've seen young women on social media scared to be turning 30.
Yeah. Well, there's all those trolls out there that don't help, right, with the commenting. And so I hope that women know to just ignore that, because many of them are just trying to get a reaction.
Yeah, and I think they're just really projecting on what they're feeling about
Yes.
themselves, their own inner fears about aging. And I always wonder, these people that leave such nasty messages, you know, on older women's pages, are you talking to your mother or your grandmother like that? Like, how horrible.
Yeah.
I feel really sad, not only for you, but for members of your family that would see a comment that you would leave like that.
Right.
You know, criticizing someone's knees, for example. It's
Right.
like the silliest thing they want to focus on.
Right,
It's just
right.
crazy to me.
Yeah. So another reason that we're here with you is because you love to do, like, concentrate like on holistic beauty.
Yeah, well, I call it age honoring.
Age honoring.
It's, you know, not always, I mean, there is a holistic aspect to
Yeah.
it. Of course, with, you know, some products and things that are rooted in science, I think it's a nice marriage of the two. But yeah, I would say that.
So tomorrow you're going to be doing these fabulous facials on us. And so maybe you could discuss a little bit about what that entails. We talked about the vagus nerve yesterday and how that can affect vagal tone.
Well, you know, it all really started with learning that our issues are in our tissues. You know,
I love that.
We hold a lot of stress, whatever negative thoughts you may be having. Everything is stored in your cells and in your tissues. And of course, you know, aging is, I always say, just a part of life, but we can look our best as we age by really going within and nourishing ourselves, our spirit. And the facials that I do are much more than just, you know, products being put on the skin or a peel. It's more about having you get centered with your inner self and really just massaging every muscle of the face, releasing tension, putting you in a parasympathetic mode, focusing on the vagus nerve. And people are amazed that after this 90-minute treatment, you come out, you look rejuvenated. And it's all based on just working the lymphatic system, working the muscles, and really oxygenating the skin, but more importantly, letting you zone out and relax. You know, relieving stress is one of the best things we can do for ourselves at any stage in life, but especially as we're aging.
Yeah. So not only do you look refreshed, you feel refreshed. Your entire being is refreshed. Yes. So we're both looking forward to that tomorrow.
You guys experience it. Absolutely.
And in that regard, we are planning a retreat next year, and Claudia's going to come to the retreat and provide these special facials for women as a VIP treatment on the retreat. So we're looking forward to having that done. Oh, that's going to be like amazing for the women.
Yeah, I think that's going to be really great.
Yeah.
And, you know, there are other estheticians across the country that specialize in the neo-lifting technique. So I will be happy to share that. So maybe, you know, your listeners and the audience can find an esthetician in their area that also believes in this and has that knowledge.
Yeah. Or they can just come to Vegas and see you.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
More on that to come.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you had to look back on this journey that you've taken, I remember when you first were on Instagram, and it's amazing how many followers you've gotten in the last 5 years just because of inspiring all these women. But what changes have you noticed in yourself over those last 5 years, as far as social media goes, as far as the women you're connecting with?
I think that when I really just started opening up and being honest about my own journey, you know, my past experience with Botox and fillers and things like that, because like I said, I have worked in the beauty industry, and that is so normalized. So I really can speak to that because I've lived that as well, and then I've come full circle with just accepting and leaving all that behind. That's just been a personal choice for me. Again, I don't criticize anyone that chooses to do that. We're all on our own journey. But when I started just really opening up about that, and also just within myself, the change that happened, I couldn't help but express it. And I think that's what resonates with people is the honesty.
Yeah.
That this is it. This is what it is, and I'm accepting it.
And you've shared vulnerable moments too, many.
Vulnerable moments, I mean, we all go through self-doubt. We all go through, you know, it's not easy aging. I think if we just are honest about that, it's not. You see yourself changing on the outside, where maybe on the inside you still feel very vibrant or quote-unquote youthful. It is a weird shift, but I think it's all in how we look at it and what we say to ourselves that really matters.
Yeah. I mean, I still feel in my 20s on the inside.
So do I.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do.
Definitely.
I feel like I'm the same kid I've always been.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I think we are eternal. You know, we are that same person. It's just you're in a different packaging. I always say it's a costume change.
Yeah.
You know, getting older, you're just in a different form.
Yeah.
But you're actually given the opportunity with aging to be the best version of yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's how I look at it. This is the best of me at this stage in my life, and I wouldn't want to go back to my 20-year-old self.
No way.
Oh,
You
no.
couldn't pay me enough.
Or
no.
my 30-year-old self, or even my 40-year-old self. You know, I'm happy where I'm at, and I think that's the key to aging well is just being happy with where you're at.
I know. I feel more comfortable in my skin now than I ever did. I actually love the post that you did today. So you had a picture of you. How old were you then?
I was 40.
40. Okay. And your picture today, both gorgeous pictures. But I was reading some of the comments, and just the women were saying, oh, thank you for this. Thank you for posting this, because beauty is in every age. You can see it in every aspect of every decade.
And the title was, you know, we're meant to change. We are meant to change. And I think that's something we often forget with beauty industry messaging is, you know, we're supposed to be forever 25 or forever 30, and it's impossible. It's an impossible goal. It only will chip away at your self-esteem. It only will make you feel less than. And it's really, I want to show there's another way. There's another way to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just to shift the conversation a little bit, do you have any humorous stories that have happened to you on social media or behind the scenes?
Gosh, I'm trying to think. You put me on.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, while she's thinking,
Yeah.
one of the things that I'm interested in, and this is a component of that, is how women 50 and over, 45 and older, are really starting to become very big on social media.
Yeah, and I think that's because the more we're there, the more it's, you know, you're seeing yourself. And I think it's showing that women want to see that. We want to see ourselves, because when you go into a department store, Sephora, Ulta, you don't see images of women your own age in beauty marketing. So seeing it on social is kind of like jarring sometimes at first, but then it's like, oh, I love it, you know, and we want to see ourselves. And that's just a word out to the beauty industry that you got to change the way you're marketing to the Gen X generation, because we're not having it.
That's right.
We're not.
You heard it here.
Yeah, we're not about anti-aging. You know, we're about pro-aging.
Yeah, pro-aging.
And just, you know, accepting where we are and proud of it.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's just it's a new world. It's a new way of looking at it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I do have something I can share.
Okay.
An anecdote.
Okay.
So recently I had a video go viral. Right now it's well over 1 million views. And it really stirred up a lot of commentary. The video was me just basically saying, you're not going to look young. And it really, you know, lit some fires under people, okay?
Pissed some people off.
And of course, you know, people that see it don't necessarily know me or follow my page. They're just seeing this for the first time. And I got 2 different kinds of messages. One from younger women saying, 50, you look 70, you look 60, you know, look at your neck, you know, just really coming at me, critiquing me. And then I get other messages, people saying, oh yeah, but look at all the Botox you have, look at all the plastic surgery you've had. So it's so interesting that with one video, people see such different things. You know, some people are critiquing the way I look, or I look old. And then some are saying, oh, but you've had all this work done. And it's such a really interesting lens on our society, how messed up we are and what we know about aging. And also that women are, these are both comments coming from women. And I think it's really a sad commentary on the state of womanship and womanhood. Because, you know, to tear down another woman, either way it's a critique, either way it's meant to be an insult.
And not being able to just scroll past something that
you know, and they're missing the whole message. My message was that you can fight aging all you want, you can do all the things, but you're not going to be young. Like, you are the age that you are. But it went over a lot of people.
And congratulate yourself that you made it to that age.
That's right.
But I just think that to me was so interesting. I would love to do a psychology deep dive on that, because that was a real lens on our society. That either women are damned if they do and damned if they don't.
Yes, that's right.
You're damned if you get plastic surgery or you do Botox. You're damned if you don't. It's like there's no winning.
And other people think they have the right to comment on it. Like, from where I'm sitting, your neck looks pretty damn good to me. I'm just saying. But again, they feel like, oh, I don't like that message, I don't agree with it, so I'm gonna go after you and make comments about you personally. When, wouldn't it be better? My mother always taught me, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all.
Well, maybe it's not for you. Sometimes messages on social media aren't meant for you. And obviously maybe that young woman isn't at the place yet where she's had to face aging, you know what I mean?
And she's probably still struggling with her own
self-esteem. Clearly she's afraid of aging. And again, like, is she talking to her mom and her grandmother that way? I'm appalled. And then the other women accusing me of getting procedures done. It's like, what does that say about her? You know, I think people are suffering and hurting in themselves, and then they find an opportunity to lash out. But anyway, I don't know if that's the kind of anecdote we're looking for, but I thought it was an interesting take on the 2 ways people see the same video.
So twice now you talked about when you talk to your mother or your grandmother that way, and the images that pop into my head are of my own grandmother and great-grandmother, who obviously in today's terms would look so much older than their years, right? But for some reason, years ago, people embraced those women and held them in high regard like they do in many other cultures, right? But our media has done such a great job of demonizing aging that it's come to this point where we can't accept those beautiful women and everything that they've contributed to this life, and that now they are those crones that are now guiding the rest of the young women to live their best life, right?
And if you think about it, if you look at pictures of your grandma, it's like you see nothing but beauty.
Yes.
When you look at your
and love
relatives
and
yeah, just like a wisdom and a nurturing there that I guess, you know, we're not able to see anymore. And I think all of that changed with the boom of anti-aging in the early 80s. Because remember in the 70s, it was about empowering women. You remember, like, she can bring home the bacon, she can fry it up in a pan,
burn your bra.
It was like all about women empowerment. And then it shifted in the 80s where it became all about anti-aging, and that's really where it took off, and it's been here ever since, and it's really done a lot of harm, I think, to our psyche as we age.
But I think having been on social media for so long now, and especially on someone's page, like looking at the posts on your page and the comments, I think the positive comments outweigh the negative ones. So I think there is a shift, and I think women are seeing that they deserve better, and that yes, I am embracing my age. I am going with this ageless beauty, and the hell with those people that sit and make all those comments.
I think that's at the end of the day, you have to live your life for you, and you have to be happy with who you are. And who cares? I mean, I think there's also a fun trend right now that of the We Do Not Care Club.
Oh, yes.
I saw that.
It's hysterical.
Yes. We're all part of it. I do not care. If you don't like my neck, you don't like my knees, you know, you think I look old, I do not care.
I know.
I'm not here for you.
We have to think of some posts for today, because she was looking, she tags people with the good posts, so we have to look for some good, like, we do not care what the hell you think.
One more time, ladies. 1, 2, 3. We do not care. No, we don't.
We don't. We don't. And that's at the end of the day what it boils down to. I also call it the zero F's clubs.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's also a big part of it. You get to a certain age, you're like, I don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
But on a positive note, now you've been sought after for doing interviews for women who are aging gracefully and with beauty. And recently you were interviewed by someone from your hometown, right?
Yeah, on ABC News channel in Chicago. They reached out to me to want to, discuss ageless beauty. She did a really nice segment, Tanya, who's a newscaster and journalist, and it was great. It was great to not only be recognized in my hometown, but to be speaking as often as I can on any platform to spread the message about pro-aging and ageless beauty. I think the more women hear it, again, the more you hear something, the more you're exposed to something, the more you can take that in a positive way for yourself.
It needs to become normalized.
Well, we're trying to normalize aging. And I think the more of us that are on social media showing ourselves is so important. And I come on without makeup lots of times.
You do, that's true, yes.
I'm okay with it. I'm comfortable in either way.
Yes, and your YouTube channel?
So tell us about that.
Well, that's just been a nice extension to my Instagram. I finally pulled the trigger and did YouTube, and where I can create longer form content and really show more detail about makeup application or skincare, or really just diving into topics that are important to me, like we're discussing today.
I know we're looking forward to sharing that content that we created yesterday. Claudia did makeup for both Joy and I, and so...
That's not today's makeup, just so you know.
You guys both look beautiful. And yesterday was a lot of fun. I can't wait to see
So you'll have to watch for that.
Hey Lorraine, don't forget, it's time for us to schedule our Lifeline screening appointments. They're 5 simple tests to help us keep on top of our heart and bone health, which is important for women over 45.
Yes, Lifeline Screening has been the premier provider of preventative health screening for over 30 years. In that time, over 10 million people have had screenings to detect their risk of stroke, cardiovascular disease, and other chronic illnesses. Lifeline Screening can provide meaningful benefits for your body and mind, and that's why they're committed to delivering accurate results and recommendations that could give you a healthier advantage in your everyday life, such as early detection of serious conditions, prevention of disease progression, peace of mind so you can enjoy life, savings with more affordable screenings, and no insurance required.
Yep, and don't forget, by using the link in the show notes of this episode, you get a special offer available to Girlish Gurus listeners, so make sure and schedule your appointment.
Get peace of mind now. Here's to your good health. And so tell us, what do you have coming up in the future? Is there any big exciting news?
Well, this year has been an exciting year because I've been on the Sephora squad.
Right.
I was one of 3 women that are over 50 on the squad, and that has really lit me up with a lot of opportunities.
Yeah.
And so I'm really, really excited about that. I got to go to Amsterdam for the first time this year on a brand trip. So that was really, really exciting. So yeah, there's a lot more of that coming up for me, growing my YouTube, and really just looking forward to next year, planning this retreat with you guys.
Yes.
And yeah,
That's
so
going to be
I'm excited.
exciting.
There's a lot of great things on the horizon.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, I think Joy has a question she wants to ask you.
So, one of the things that we have asked guests as we are winding up the podcast episodes, and I think it's especially important to ask you this question because we've had you on the podcast before, and it was an excellent episode, and you've come quite a long way. Yeah, check it out. You've come quite a long way since then, and I just wonder if you have a different take on this now. What are 3 things you would tell maybe your not so younger self about what it's like to step out in faith? Because this is a huge transition to become a content creator, and especially for women in our demographic.
And have such a large platform,
yes,
too.
it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of work. And to just transition into that role is really very impressive, especially to me, because we're doing the same thing. Yeah. So what are the 3 things you would tell maybe your not so younger self about this new adventure?
Mm-hmm. Well, it was really interesting because I was really, quite frankly, in a low place when it was right after the pandemic. I was laid off from my job. I didn't have any direction. I didn't know what was going to happen next. And then on top of it, I couldn't get to the hair salon. And it's just I just kind of felt like, oh my God, is this it? Here I am, early 50s. I was in a low place, to be quite honest with you. And growing out my gray hair, like I said, started me on this journey. And if I could go back to that time and tell myself, some things, I would just tell myself, well, first and foremost, not to worry, because I think what is for you always will find you. And I think when we spend a lot of time worrying about the future, we miss what's happening in the present. And I think
Gosh, I love that.
And during that time, I think that I really was in a good place. I didn't know it at the time, but I was in a really good place because it was a time of transformation in more ways than one. And it really kind of set me on a path to entrepreneurship, to finding a way, and it was a purpose. It all happens for a reason. And I think that's something I constantly have to remind myself, and I think we all do. It's why is this happening? This is stressful. What's going on? But I think we have to step back and say, okay, there's purpose.
I'm here for a reason.
I'm here for a reason. And I think that I personally never would have thought, that I would embrace my gray hair. I thought I would go to my grave with my dark root and I would dye my hair. I never thought I would ever not care about looking super young. I was in the beauty industry. That was my industry.
Yeah.
I never thought that I would step away from, my juicy corporate job in beauty to, just rely on social media. So you just never know what the future brings. And I just say, go out in faith, trust in yourself. And I think that's the biggest lesson, is believing deeper in myself.
There it is.
I just have to trust myself that I'm going to figure it out. Yeah.
Oh, that gives me tingles.
Words
Yes.
of wisdom. Yes.
Words of wisdom.
Yes.
Greater wisdom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you again so much for sharing this time with us. We're looking forward to tomorrow.
I feel so lucky.
Yeah.
I feel like we are all
Pinch
and
us.
You're not looking at her, but we have a fantastic camera person who's helping us out, who has brought us to this beautiful space.
Which we will take pictures of before.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
We will take pictures of Sherry.
It's the best. Yeah.
Sherry.
Also has great makeup skills too. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So yes. So I feel very lucky that we've had this time with you. I really do.
It's very
and
special.
I can't wait to.
She's gonna cry.
No,
Look at her.
No, it's because of my contact lenses and the makeup. It's just, I don't know if you could see that on camera.
It's just been so great. And I just feel so incredibly humbled and honored to be working with both of you.
Yeah.
I think what you're both doing with menopause and just encouraging women, entrepreneurship, is just so important. And I think I love women uplifting women.
Yes.
I mean,
Same
that
here.
Makes my soul happy.
Yeah.
I need more of that. I want to see more of that.
And the message is, this is not an ending. It's a new beginning.
It's a new beginning. beginning.
Always a new
I
beginning.
always say every decade is a new beginning, and that's why I kept the name the Beauty Debut, because I think every decade debuts something new.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something beautiful.
Yeah.
I had someone tell me one time, she told me, part of the thing about being a woman is learning how to reinvent yourself continuously. And that's what's happening.
Yeah.
And I am so excited to be a part of that.
Yeah.
And it's so
Yeah.
true. I mean, you think back, to my life, and it seems like a different lifetime, like a whole different person.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we've lived multiple lives.
Oh, yes.
And I really
Yeah.
think that women need to know that the 50s and beyond are really the best part of your life. It begins at 50.
Oh yeah.
I really do.
These have been the best years
Oh,
of
yes.
my life.
I'm having a ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really am.
Yeah.
In my 20s and 30s. I mean, for
Yeah.
different reasons, of course.
Yeah.
We were in bed by 10 o'clock
Oh.
last night.
Yeah.
Which, my younger self would have just been getting started. So,
Yeah.
I mean, there are some differences, but...
Yeah. But that's okay. Yeah.
I
Feel
have
good.
no fear of missing out anymore.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Claudia, this has been wonderful. We look forward to the retreat.
Yes.
And of course, before that, to our facials
Yeah.
tomorrow.
I can't wait for those facials.
So
Same
stay
here.
tuned for that.
Stay tuned for that. Please make sure you give this video a like, a share, and subscribe to our channels and our platforms while you are at it. And you need to go check out the Beauty Debut on YouTube. You need to go follow Claudia. You need to go check out her Instagram page if you're not already. Great stuff there. You're going to really enjoy it.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for having
Yeah.
me.
You're
It's
so
been an honor.
welcome.
It's an honor. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hugs.
Hugs!
Thanks for listening to this episode of Girlish Gurus. We hope you'll join us next time for more fun and inspiration. Be sure to check the description of this episode for links and information about the topic, and you can find us on our social media platforms starting with Instagram, Facebook, and now including YouTube. You can find us by searching Girlish Gurus, and you can also check out our website, girlishgurus.com, for more information on us, our projects, books, and our growing community.
And don't forget to download this episode, give it a good review, and share it with your girlfriends. We would also love to hear from you in the comments, because the more interaction we get, the more episodes we can post. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.